Hello MTN, my name is Gavin Hart and I am the CEO of Screamer Electronic Services. And on behalf of Screamer and the MTN Group, I would like to thank you for spending a few minutes with us as we take you through the operation of the MTN Spare Parts Intranet. Just by way of introduction and background, as you may know or may not know, MTN Group has over the last year been conducting a proof of concept for its asset and lifecycle management with 3 internationally known companies to try and find ways of optimizing and managing its spare parts and reduce costs. Fortunately, they have asked Screamer to continue this journey with them, and this is the first exercise which we feel will immediately produce huge benefits to the group. Some of you might already know Screamer because we are one of the second largest independent telecoms equipment repairers in the world, and we repair equipment for some of the largest telecoms operators around the world. They use us for the repair of their telecoms equipment, mainly because we repair it for around 35% of what the OEMs charge. The other major benefit is that if an OEM decides to obsolete any perfectly good equipment in your network and you want to continue using it, then Screamer steps into the hole created and continues to support the equipment until you, the operator, decides you want to replace it and not the OEM. Because one of our large workshops is based in South Africa, we are able to provide turnaround times to the African continent and the Middle East that are in days and not months, as some of you have experienced. Anyway, our relationship with these large telecom operators and their equipment made us soon realize that many of these operators had warehouses full of equipment that they were not using and was just gathering dust and warehouse storage costs. Even if that particular operator was not using that equipment anymore, there was probably a demand for it elsewhere in the world, or in the case of very large operators like MTN, somewhere else in another opco, somewhere on the African or Middle East continent. As a result, over the last 6 years, Screamer has developed advanced software and a web-based interface that makes it really easy for an operator to list the unused equipment that they have lying around in their warehouses, and to also search the database to see if there's any equipment that they need that might be lying in another opco's warehouse. No longer does this equipment lie hidden, out of sight, forgotten, with the opco eventually having to incur scrapping costs, but it can be listed on the internet and hopefully generate some revenue for the opco if another opco makes an offer for it. Obviously, the purchasing opco saves significant capex budget by buying this equipment at vastly reduced rates. The good news is that MTN has decided to give their opcos access to this fantastic software. And so we have developed an intranet solely for the use of the MTN opcos, onto which they can list their unused equipment and also browse and search other opcos' unused equipment. And that is the reason that you're watching this video. So let's jump straight in and show you how to access this intranet. All right, to begin with then, open any popular web browser and type in the words Screamer Electronic Services. It'll bring up a couple of selections for Screamer Electronic Services. Just click on the first one and that'll take you to our webpage homepage. If you look at our webpage homepage on the top here, you will find a client login option. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I am going to pretend that I am Ghana. So I am going to type in Ghana's login details. Now each one of you will be sent your login details and your password from your group head office. So I'm just typing in Ghana's password here. Don't worry Ghana, I will have this changed after this video, and then I'm going to log in. And that takes you straight into the MTN Group Spares Refurbished Stock intranet page. And you'll know it's for MTN because there's a big MTN sign there. And if you look down the page, you'll see that it'll tell you immediately, welcome MTN Opco Ghana, because it has approved your login details. There's a little bit of a introduction, so if you forget what I'm telling you now, you're able to again just read this little introduction, which will tell you a little bit about how to use this intranet. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and as you will see immediately, there are, in this case, sample products and sample equipment that we have got from MTN South Africa that we have loaded onto this intranet list, and it's all the equipment or some of the equipment that they have unused in their warehouse. It'll give you the source, which is the opcode that has that equipment, the product code of that equipment, a product description, what category it is in. So these are consumables. There's obviously transmission, switching, power. It'll tell you the vendor and also the quantity that they have sitting in stock. Finally, it'll give you a usable or other stock condition. What you can do then is select the quantity that you want to place on a request for quotation. Now, there are hundreds of pages of this equipment. So the easiest way to look for equipment would be to go to the instant search button at the top here and type in some part of the equipment that you know, whether it's the product code or the description or even the category or the vendor, and it'll then bring up that equipment immediately. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I am going to use, yes, they've got some RBS stock, which I know a lot of you use. So I'm going to type in RBS, and immediately you will see it has brought up everything that's got an RBS description in it. And these are cabinets, and they come from Ericsson. And you're obviously then able to scroll up or down these pages looking at the RBS equipment. Page 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's brought up 33 pages that has got RBS equipment in it. So let's, for sake of this particular exercise, say that you have found the piece of equipment that you're looking for. You want that 6201 AGO cabinet. You can then say, well, they've got 128 in stock. I am going to order 34 or 134. Now you'll notice that it allowed me to put in 134, which is more than the stock that is available in MTN. The reason we have allowed that is if you need 134 pieces, when you place the request for quotation, it will say that you are looking for 134, but there's only 128 in stock, which will advise our inventory controllers to search the world databases and find the additional 6 items for you. So what we've done is we've put 134. You can say here, add to quote, and it'll give you the message that your product has been added, and you can immediately then go and browse your quote. Or you can carry on shopping and choose another item here. Here are 6 in stock, so here you want, I'm going to go and select 3 and add those to the quote as well. And you can do this for as long and as many items as you want to. Just to keep this brief, I'm now going to go into browsing your quote. I'm going to go into the quote. Now this, remember, is a request for quote. So once you have selected the products that you are interested in, the request for quote is now going to be created, and you will see that there are the products that you have selected, the quote amount, the quote quantity that you want, and what you then need to do is to just go into the bottom here and fill in your name. So I'm going to say Gavin Hart. As far as an email address is concerned, I'm going to type in my actual email address, gavinh@screamer.co.za. You can also choose which MTN opco you're sitting in, although it will be defaulted from your login that you created when you logged into the page. You can add some comments here. For instance, desperately need this within 3 days. I don't care if this is dusty, just send it to me. Or please make sure it comes with full BOM, or whatever you want to. And you can then send your request, or you can return to the spares listing page and add more items to your quote. In this particular instance, I'm going to send the request. Now, once I've sent that request, it'll give you a little message that says your request for a quote is on its way to us. One of our optimizers will be in contact with you within the next 24 hours. Should you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact us, and there's a contact us page which you can click on and send us another message. This quote will now be sent to one of our optimizers, and a copy will be sent to your email address that you've just captured. What we've done as well is we have added a nice little feature here, which is download a full product list. This is for those of you that prefer to work on Excel. So if you click on download a full product list here, it will then download a full product list. There is an MTN combined list in Excel format, which is now ready for you to open up on your computer and work with and do searches and do whatever else you want to. Once you've finished working with your Excel spreadsheet and you found the product that you've wanted, you can then come back in here and once again type in your search like we did earlier for RBS, and then go and create your quote as I've just shown you. And there you have it. If there's ever any doubt as to the usability or condition of the equipment, Screamer is able to screen and refurbish the equipment and create full implementation bombs so that the purchasing OpCo can rest assured that the equipment they receive is in proper and full working condition. Once you've placed your quote on the system, you will be emailed a copy and the quote will be sent to one of the Screamer inventory controllers. The Screamer inventory controller will then contact the OpCo that listed the equipment and recommend a market-related price to that OpCo, which, if accepted, will then be relayed back to the listing OpCo. If accepted by the requesting OpCo, then Screamer will facilitate the payment and the transfer of the equipment from one OpCo to the other, anywhere in Africa or the Middle East. If you as an OpCo would like to list any of the equipment you are not using and that is taking up space in your warehouse, please send an email with a spreadsheet listing the equipment to Essa Govender, whose details will appear at the end of this video. In fact, if you have any questions regarding this webpage or would like to get a quote to repair any of your equipment, or if you would like us to try and find you any spare parts that you can no longer get from your OEM, you can also contact Essa. He is your Screamer one-stop shop. MTN Group has also requested that they be sent a copy of any communication you send to us, so also please copy Mr. Etienne Madura, whose contact details will also be listed at the end of this video. Finally, if the equipment has been listed for a long period of time on the internet and no other OpCo has shown any interest in it, then Screamer will list the equipment on our open web portal, which most of the world's operators' procurement departments examine on a regular basis, looking for spare parts. If an offer is then received from another operator, then that offer will be relayed to the listing OpCo, and if accepted, Screamer will then again facilitate the payment and shipping of the product and also warranty it. Screamer Electronic Services would like to thank you for spending some time with us, and we can assure you from our experience with other operators that making your unused equipment visible will have a massive impact on reducing your warehousing and scrapping costs while adding unexpected revenue to your bottom line or reducing your CapEx costs dramatically just by adding this intranet website into your procurement process. Essa Govender and myself, Essa, come and say hello to MTN.
Hi, I'm Essa Govender.
Both of us will soon be visiting a number of the MTN OpCos to chat about other amazing ways of improving your asset lifecycle management. And so until then, happy shopping.
Cheers, guys.